penis, il cazzo, boiate, catsplaining, la queue, cock, phallic, don, avetta legato, enter, chuan, crick, tippy, schlong, manhole, wiggy, ripper, tippy, all Long Johnson. You have so many names and so many states of matter. You are in fact a fluid being, but you are almost only imagined as stiff, while you're mostly, well, just hanging around. So many expectations whirl around you as an organ, that's so much to take for such a wobbly little wurst. You need to be big, but you don't even come in one size. Every penis can be bigger and smaller, and that not only in phases like erect or relaxed. The same penis can be, and in fact is, often smaller or bigger in both erect or not, in both these states of being. And there's even more shades of glid in between. It's just that no one cares. You're supposed to be either one or the other. So many expectations, which make especially straight men really scared. So scared. I tell you, just write one article about small penises. It will be rewarded by being looked up hundreds, thousands of times. You can earn a shitload of money with pumps or pills or injections to make it bigger or thicker, devices which are useless or unnecessary, and in most cases both. They sell though. The only thing they make bigger is the wallets of these shady businesses, because men are even more scared of what women might think of them. Is it enough? Because it means, are they enough? Strong enough, man enough, worthy enough? All their attractiveness crystallizes in this squashy little thing, and even worse, its performance may be interpreted as a comment on the attractiveness of their beloved, a feedback you can't control, and which can be, for both sides, so devastating. And they have good reason to be scared of what women think, because what they think actually many times is not really body pos either, and well, sometimes scary. Most women would say that a penis that is flaccid is ugly, or at least useless. They don't know what to do with it, as if there had to be something done with it. As if it's just a tool for this one thing, like a hammer, and what could a flaccid hammer possibly do? But here you're wrong on the schlong. It's not supposed to be only hard. It is in fact also sensitive, soft, tender. Probably even when it is hard. So what's even much harder to grasp seems to be this notion that something can be hard and soft at the same time. That's what I declare the duality of dickheadness. Then again, when it is hard, or let's say erect, not to get confused, not many, even straight women who are kind of like supposed to be into that kind of thing, would say that it is beautiful. They sometimes see it as an aggressive little Rumpelstiltskin foreskin, or even worse, as a threat, either literally, because certainly the hard dick wants to go somewhere if you want it or not, or as a threat to their own beauty or performance, because what does the presence of a flaccid dick has to say about them? It's a stress that transfers from the one to the other and back again, and has not helped one dick getting erect, ever. Figure how much people like to stress that. Old people, young people, stupid people, wise people, or dead people, like German philosopher Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, famous head and himself quite a dickhead, especially against women. Here, looking quite scared himself, he once looked for something to compare to the human mind, and he chose, you know, this is about the penis and you still won't guess it because it's just too ridiculous, the dick. Why? Because its capability to aim for the low and crude, for the lewd, for instance, and the high and sublime to create life. But what a flagel, this Hegel, because there's clearly another colleague in the dream team of genitals who does quite more of the job, which is called miracle of life. But what does Georg Friedrich care, right? There is no I in team, Georgie. I guess the chances of his chauvinism changing anytime soon aren't getting any higher 200 years after his death, but don't worry, he hasn't published too much lately. Wow, thy erectedness. You don't have only a reputation, you have a legacy, though it's more of a legend. Phallus is thy name. You became a symbol for power, the bigger the better. When even Trump indicates that his nuclear missile button is certainly bigger as Kim Jong-un's. Long story short, the myth says, the bigger, the stronger, the better. That wasn't always the case. The ancient Greek and the Romans copied that from them. They thought that a rather small form was more elegant, more balanced, more beautiful, without any scare. That seems to be the privilege of our time. Though in the vast majority of cases, it is still true that whatever size, it is perfectly fine to be enjoyable for others. For the few cases where it is not, too big can be the same problem as too small. And the good thing for both, penetration is not the only enjoyable way to have sex. And in my school of sex, there is a homework: no sex with penetration for a month, and for straight men, make it 6 months, because they're so fixated on it. Hola, Kiki! You're nothing more than a balloon to be dressed in other balloons, but still you kind of became really so much more significant. You became another significant other. Something the one possesses in everlasting angst of losing it, though possesses never really, truly, because how do you possess a symbol? So the ones who do not lack the penis are indeed the castrated ones. By the very fear of being castrated through losing something you never can truly possess and didn't possess in the first place. And the other that lacks and supposedly envies this possession, and justifiably does so because it is she who does not envy the organ, especially in times where there's women with dicks, but she envies the power that she is denied. A lose-lose situation, one would assume, only there to maintain a tension in social relations, which keeps up power relations just the way they are. In fact, the whole cultural history around this organ revolves actually not around the thing itself, but this very symbol that we're talking about. Its imaginary counterpart is in consequence centered not around the penis itself, but an erection. Because it's just one state it's in, which is like defining you by an emotion you occasionally have. Or not even that, because when you think about it, it's not an actual erection. The whole thing just revolves around the idea of an erection, around what we assume an erection is supposed to mean. And that's quite far from the actual pecker, because this history is written by what it symbolizes. And as you know, what you are and what you symbolize are never the same thing, because otherwise you just be it instead of having to make the effort to symbolize it. And that's a lot to handle for such a saggy little thing with occasional megalomania, which by the way lasts for 25 to 35 minutes, as studies found out, as the average time for a Johnny to become a John. And hold on. Try to forget all you think to know about it, and for once try to see it as a tiny little friend. He's begging for your attention, as well as for your patience, encouragement, tender care, and admiration. Not for what he is not, but for what he is. Even if he's not, you know.